Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Real Time, where we talk about the movies we like.
And the ones we don't.
I'm Tyler,
And I'm Molly.
and for this video, we are going to be talking about Sergio Leone's Dollars Trilogy, starting with the first in the series, A Fistful of Dollars.
Yep. Cowboy movies. Wild West. Here we go.
Here we go. So this trilogy was, well, we already had it on our schedule for this year, but when we were going to do it was a bit nebulous. However, a friend of mine, Jack Powell, asked us if we could do this trilogy for his birthday. So here you go, buddy. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Jack.
He and I served in the Army together. We were at Maryland together, and he's a pretty good friend of mine who I'm really trying to talk to more.
That sounds nice. I'm glad. I'm glad we could do this for your friendship.
Gotta do things for the homies.
Yeah, you have to.
Anyways, like I said, this trilogy was directed by Sergio Leone, and it starred Clint Eastwood in some of the movies that made him an icon in his character of the man with no name.
Yep. That makes sense because, all through this movie I was watching it and I was like, I don't know anybody's name.
Except Clint Eastwood.
Yeah. No, I mean like their characters' names. Because isn't he just supposed to not have a name?
What?
Clint Eastwood's character.
Well, they call him Joe a few times.
Oh, I didn't catch that, I guess.
And then for a few dollars more, they call him Manco. And then in The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, they call him Blondie.
Okay. Well, I did have problem following the names.
Anyways, Clint Eastwood's titular man with no name isn't exactly the same character in all three movies, but come on, he's the same character in all three movies.
Yeah, he acts the same. He even is dressed very similar too, if I recall.
Clint Eastwood's own movie Unforgiven that he directed in 1992, he claimed at one point, I think, that the character in that movie, William Money, that he plays, was a continuation of The Man with No Name. And if we ever do Unforgiven, which I might decide to just throw it on because why not, I might talk about that a little bit more there.
Okay.
So, like we said, Clint Eastwood stars as Joe, or the man with no name. But for the sake of simplicity, we'll just call him Joe.
Yeah, Joe's easy to remember.
Marianne Koch plays Marisol, a woman who was stolen from her husband and child over a game of poker by the main villain of this movie, Ramon Rojo, played by Gian Maria Volonte.
Yeah, basically, from what I gathered, the bad guy just kind of bullied him away, or bullied her away from her. Oh my gosh, he bullied her husband, so he gave him.
Let me do it.
I'm getting so tongue-tied.
Okay, so Marisol's husband was playing poker with Ramon. Ramon claimed that her husband cheated, so he took Marisol as basically a recompense.
Yeah, but, I don't even think he cheated.
Probably not, but I don't know.
Bad guys will just be bad guys.
Wolfgang Luxschiep plays John Baxter, the leader of the Baxter clan of, well, they seem to be a bit more law-abiding than the Rojos. Oh, that's another thing. In this town, there are the Baxters and the Rojos. And they basically hate each other. They're essentially rival crime families.
Yeah. Do not like each other at all.
Kind of like, kind of like the Greys and the Braithwaites in Red Dead Redemption 2, if I had to pull a more recent reference.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, the Red Dead series it seems like they borrow heavily or were inspired heavily by the Dollars Trilogy, among other things.
Yeah, I can see that.
Especially with this movie in regards to the first Red Dead game with John Marston finding himself down in Mexico playing both sides of a conflict.
Yeah, that is very similar.
Sighard Rupp plays Esteban Rojo, one of the main brothers of the Rojo family. Antonio Prieto plays Don Miguel Rojo, the leader of the Rojos.
Mm-hmm.
Mario Brega plays Chico, one of the Rojo heavies, and this would be the first of 3 separate roles for Mario Brega in the Dollars Trilogy. He's one of few actors and really crew members in general to be involved in all 3 Dollars Trilogy movies. So I think that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Why just him? Do you know?
Well, Gian Maria Volonte was also in for a few dollars more, and supposedly he was supposed to play the bad guy Angel Eyes in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, but he and Clint Eastwood didn't get along.
Yeah. Too much drama on the set.
Yeah, we'll get to that, and we'll get to that later. Jose Calvo plays Silvanito, the owner of the local bar, who he basically acts as Joe's. He's kind of a friend to him. He tries to keep him out of danger and houses him at times.
Yeah, they're buddies. He helps them out. They help each other out.
So yes, as the first of the Dollars Trilogy, it's a little bit more of a basic plot than the other 2 movies. In this one, we don't really know why Joe is coming into this town, although from the looks of it, he's just passing through and just happens into some nonsense between these 2 crime families.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Lots of conflict between these 2, it seems.
There doesn't really need to be any sort of main inciting incident that makes him get involved. He's just passing through.
Yeah. He was just kind of on his way to who knows wherever.
Although some American TV execs thought differently back when this movie first aired on TV in the United States, because they added some new scenes at the beginning of the movie to explain why Joe is getting himself involved in this conflict.
Oh, what were those?
It basically had him in jail, and the warden or whatever, played by Harry Dean Stanton, tells him that you can go free if you solve this problem way over yonder. And it's clearly not Clint Eastwood in these scenes because, well, obviously they couldn't get him to do that. So he's shot in the shadows or from behind or stuff. It's just clearly that it's not Clint Eastwood, you know?
Yeah, seems like it kind of unnecessary.
It's very unnecessary.
Yeah, I could tell.
So I don't necessarily need to say this, what format we watch all of these movies on, because that's kind of superfluous. But we watched this on the 4K copy, and the transfer is pretty excellent, I'd say.
Yeah, Tyler likes just to show off, and he always says, "Oh, all my movies are 4K,"
Anyways, but even more impressive than that, when you put the movie in, it just goes straight to the menu. There's not really any bumpers or stuff, or studios stuff or anything like that. You put it in, you press play, boom, you get going.
Yeah, it knows what you came here for, and that's the movie.
And since the credits are at the beginning with this really excellent intro music composed by Ennio Morricone, you don't have any credits at the end. So when the movie's done, it's done. It goes straight to the beginning. Like, hey, you want to watch it again? Of course you do. I know you do.
Yeah, Tyler says yes. I will watch it 12 more times tonight.
So Sergio Leone popularized what would be known as spaghetti westerns. Now, Can you guess why they're called spaghetti westerns?
I have a good guess.
Yeah, what is it?
Because they're filmed in Italy.
Actually, they're filmed in Spain, but they're directed by Italians.
Oh. Okay.
Although to be fair, some could be made in Italy.
But the spaghetti comes from Italian.
Yeah,
I assume.
the spaghetti people.
Is that racist?
No.
All right. Okay. I don't know.
Anyways, so yes, this movie was filmed in Spain, specifically in the Tabernas Desert and in the Cabo de Gata Níjar Natural Park, both in the province of Almeria.
Oh, I don't know where that is. I'm bad at geography.
It's in Spain.
Yeah, okay. That doesn't really help me.
Now, overall, what do you think of this movie?
Well, to start, I should say, Westerns aren't really my thing. However, it's clear that the main character, Joe, is one cool dude that can, pretty much do anything. He can take on any guy. So he's pretty cool. The plot was, it was pretty interesting.
Pretty simple, but it was effective.
It works. Simple but effective. You're right. So I'd say overall it was an okay movie for me.
Yeah. I actually found on this most recent rewatch that I liked it a little bit less than I did before, but I still really, really like it.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me. I know these are like some of your favorite movies, so.
There's a reason why the Man with No Name became such an iconic character after this movie. For one, he's scary competent. Like, this guy can shoot 4 guys like it's nobody's business. I'm pretty sure he has Deadeye.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. Because, like, in the beginning of the movie, he tells the coffin maker, get 3 coffins ready, and then he shoots 4 people in the blink of an eye, and he says, I should have told you 4. I don't know what he says. That's kind of
my mistake. 4 coffins.
Yeah, that's what he says.
He's an intelligent character, but he's also, like I said, really effective with a gun. He could take care of himself.
Yeah. It looks like he's the fastest gun in the West.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, pretty cool guy.
The side characters in this movie they're not the most deepest, but they have plenty of personality. Like, take for instance the coffin maker. He's always joking about how, oh, you're gonna die, Mr. Man, you're gonna die, and then every time Joe shows up, he's like, I lived.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter to him. He thinks it's funny because, hey, whether he dies or the guys who he's going after dies, he still gets paid.
Yeah, I like the coffin maker. I think he's my favorite side character.
Then you have the bar owner. He's this could be a nothing role, but the actor, even though basically everyone in this movie is dubbed, delivers a pretty personable and likable performance, and he's a good joy to watch.
Yeah, he's a likable character. He's very helpful.
The dubbing, that's another thing. So the way Sergio Leone did these movies is that without fail, there would always be several different languages going back and forth. Okay, so what he decided to do was he had them say their lines in their native language, and it'd just be dubbed over in whatever market this movie would be showed in.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. So did Clint Eastwood just talk, I guess, his own?
Yeah, he spoke English.
Speech. So that's kind of funny. So he's just over there talking English, and then all the other characters are speaking in Italian to him.
Italian, Spanish, German, whatever.
So did he have to learn all those languages? No, he just kind of knew when his lines were.
Yeah, I'm assuming that the script he got, had all the other characters' lines, so he would know how to emote and how to respond.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like that would be complicated for me if I was Clint Eastwood. I mean, I'm not, so that's good.
I hope so.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that would get confusing, hearing all these lines and having to remember when your line came in by going off of, foreign language. So, I don't know. That seems tricky.
As far as dubs go, this is possibly the weakest in the Dollars Trilogy. I don't know. It's kind of... I'd have to rewatch for a few dollars more to check.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Sometimes, yeah. I mean, it's definitely not perfect, but it's believable, I mean, you're expecting it.
It does the job.
Yeah. And it could be part of the charm as well.
Yeah, I'd say so. That plus some of the more sloppy editing choices and the really blatant day for night shots.
Yeah. You can obviously tell it's daytime, but with a something over.
Yeah. Now how they do it is they use a day for night filter on the camera. It just colors the whole scene blue.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty blatant, but like I said, it does the job, and it's part of the charm, I'd say.
Yeah, I agree. Just part of the charm, and you know what you're expecting when you. Oh, excuse me, I have the hiccups. When you go in to watch this movie.
It's but it does look pretty noticeable once you have it back to back with actual night shots.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, this is all due to budget. They didn't have much money to make this thing, so they got the night shots when they could.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, even though it doesn't look quite realistic, it's fine.
So, concerning this movie's score, Ennio Morricone actually thought that this was his worst film score. If this is his worst film score, then man had more talent than anyone knew what to do with.
I guess so, yeah.
And I'll say this more when it comes to The Good and the Bad and the Ugly, but these movies have incredible music. Just like I said with the Star Wars movies, you can have these movies without the dialogue, and the music would be able to tell the story just fine, I think.
Yeah. And there's some pieces of music that everybody knows. Like we'll get to it later when we talk about The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. But the whole wah, 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 wah. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, everyone does.
I don't know what the song's called, or I could have just said that instead of having to sing it.
You mean The Good and the Bad and the Ugly theme?
Man, I wish I would have thought of that. Oh well.
Well, it seems like you're not Ennio Morricone either.
No.
So, the outfit that Clint Eastwood put together for this movie, he still has all of that.
That's pretty cool.
And the poncho he wore throughout all 3 Dollars movies, he never washed it.
Ew.
Although, given the time between movies, I guess it would be okay.
Might be stinky.
Yeah, he's a man. He'll be okay.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
And like I said, he still has that poncho.
Pretty cool. I wonder if he's ever washed it. Something tells me no.
So, you know the Clint squint, right? The iconic look that he has in all his cowboy movies.
Yeah, his squinty eyes.
Well, that was actually created on this movie.
I guess he just decided to play the role with squinty eyes, or what?
Well, it was a combination of a lot of things. The heavy smoke in the cigars, or cigarillos, I guess, since he cut them down. He wasn't a smoker then, so he took it up for the roles. And well, if you're not used to it, then yeah, that's gonna happen.
Yeah, and his character was smoking like in every scene in this movie.
Plus his horsehair allergy.
Yep, that would do it.
And the bright sunlight.
Yeah, I'd be squinting too.
All that led to an iconic look.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It sounds like it was kind of unpleasant.
So, Um, I found out why the TV guys decided to film that prologue.
Why?
The person in charge at ABC hated the film's amoral plot and refused to air it unless the studio fixed, quote unquote, I say fixed, in extreme quotation marks, what he saw as an impure motive of Joe. Yeah, Americans weren't ready for spaghetti westerns at the time.
I guess not. That's kind of funny.
Okay, the scene was only used for that ABC Sunday movie night broadcast and was soon destroyed by the studio afterwards, although it made it onto the DVD as a special feature somehow.
Yeah.
All
right. Interesting.
I mean, granted, I'm not a fan of things becoming lost media, so there's that, I guess, but I don't see the need in caring about this.
Nah.
Did you know that this movie was actually a remake of another movie?
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, it was a unauthorized remake of Akira Kurosawa's Yojimbo.
Okay, I've heard of that one.
Yojimbo follows a similar plot, but with samurai instead of cowboys. Although, given how Kurosawa was inspired by John Ford westerns, it's pretty much come full circle at that point, with Leone ripping it off.
That is an interesting fact.
Yeah, so there was obviously a lawsuit involved, and Kurosawa got himself some money. But given how everything worked out, and we're able to actually, own the movie now, it's pretty good that everything did work out.
Yeah. Yep. It seems like everything has. Yeah.
So, Gian Maria Volante and Clint Eastwood didn't really get along very much, like I said.
He was the dude who played Ramon?
Yeah, the main bad guy.
Okay, then yes.
Well, he didn't get along with Leone either. He found Volante's theatrical acting style and arrogant on-set manner very tiresome.
Nice.
Well, Volante tried to be friendly with Clint Eastwood, though. But a few things got in the way. He didn't really speak very much English, and Eastwood didn't speak any Italian at the time.
Yeah, kind of hard to try to form a relationship whenever you can't understand each other.
Political differences also came in the way. Eastwood at the time was a conservative Republican. These days he leans more libertarian. And Volante was he was a leftist. I wouldn't say liberal. That's not how the rest of the world views U.S. politics, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that would get in the way of things.
Also, Eastwood just didn't know anything about Italian politics anyways, so what does it matter to him?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm with you there. I couldn't tell you who is the guy in charge at Italy. I don't know what he's called. Is it a president? Is it a prime minister? Is it a king? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I can't help you.
All right. So, let's see. So, at the time, Clint Eastwood was more known for TV shows like Rawhide in the U.S. And this... Are you done?
I'm sorry, I get the hiccups.
Anyways, so he basically took this opportunity to star in movies, star in an Italian western, as a certain Rick Dalton would put it. And yeah, they really helped his career.
Yeah, looks like it.
At first, he saw these movies as just a way to get a vacation, since he actually wasn't able to star in any American movie productions at the time due to his contract with, Rawhide and all that.
Yeah.
But is that nothing about starring in Italian movies?
When you see a loophole, you gotta take it.
Clint Eastwood also had some disagreements with Sergio Leone over the script. He thought his character had too much dialogue, which the minimalist dialogue really helps his character a lot, I think.
I guess it kind of makes him seem mysterious, you know. You don't know if he's a good guy, bad guy. Yeah, so I can see it helping his character.
Yeah, throughout the movie, we see this guy play both sides of this conflict, and it's kind of funny at times because at one point he gives information to one of these families for $500. Then he goes around and gives some more information to the other family for another $500. You can't blame the man for the hustle.
He's making good money. That's yeah, it's pretty funny.
So there were some other actors who were considered for this movie too.
Okay, like who?
Originally, Sergio Leone wanted Henry Fonda to play the man with no name, but the production company couldn't afford him. Then they offered the role to Charles Bronson. He also declined because he didn't like the script. James Coburn was also offered the role, but he wanted too much money. Lee Marvin and Cliff Robertson were also considered. So, we have a lot of ways to go before we get to Clint Eastwood.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even realize there were so many people who were up for the role.
So Clint Eastwood wasn't the first, second, third, fourth, or fifth choice for the role. But look how well it turned out.
Yeah, and now it's like, so iconic to see that. We see that look and we're like, oh yeah, that's a Clint Eastwood character there.
Now, I don't think we have any more to say on A Fistful of Dollars. What do you think?
No, I mean, I think you said a pretty good amount.
I think so too. So, we are going to go to the next movie for a few dollars more.
Mm-hmm. We went from a fistful, and now just a few dollars more.
A few dollars more.
Just a few.
You know why they call it that rolling one, right?
Why?
It's just a cheeky little reference to the lawsuit going around with Fistful of Dollars.
Ah. Funny. Yeah.
Yeah. So, here we go. For a Few Dollars More was the second in the Dollars Trilogy. We once again find Sergio Leone directing and Clint Eastwood starring in this. And another story about the man with no name. This time his name is apparently Manco. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. I guess they're technically different characters, even though they look and dress the same.
It's the same guy.
Yeah.
Same person.
Yeah, and there's a lot of actors they reuse in this movie.
Yeah, in the $3 trilogy movies, there are 5 different actors who are in all 3 movies.
That's quite a bit.
For one, you have Clint Eastwood, of course. Then you also have Mario Brega in Fistful of Dollars, who played Chico, and for a few dollars more, he played Nino. And then The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, he plays Corporal Wallace. He's the big dude who ends up being the heavy to the villain, who ends up dying in some way or another.
Okay.
You have Aldo Sembrell and Benito Stefanelli, who played different characters. And then in the last movie, they both play gang members for Angel Eyes. And then you also have Lorenzo Robledo, who, again, just plays different characters in each one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, so, in addition to Clint Eastwood, we have Lee Van Cleef making his appearance as Colonel Douglas Mortimer, a bounty hunter who is on the hunt for John Maria Volante's El Indio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is a cold-hearted, well, not really cold-hearted, but he's a mean, well, he's not really that mean. I can't think of how to describe him. He's good at his job. There we go.
Yes, he is.
He's a good bounty killer.
And it's funny with these two actors. We have Gian Maria Volante, who plays the bad guy in the first 2 movies. He appears in the first 2 movies. He does play the bad guy in both of those. And then we have Lee Van Cleef, who appears in the last 2 movies. In the first movie, which he was in, he's one of the heroes. And then in the second movie he's in, he's the bad guy. So, kind of interesting.
Yeah, kind of weird.
We find out why why Mortimer is after Indio. Indio was responsible for the rape and death of his sister. Indio murdered his sister's husband and then proceeded to try to rape her, but Mortimer's sister ended up committing suicide though, given the fact that she was able to shoot herself, you would think that she would try shooting Indio instead of herself.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But then I was also thinking, well, she knows her husband's dead, so maybe she's just. And she's also currently being raped, so yeah. I mean, I could see why she would choose to commit suicide instead of just killing the guy, but.
It also could have been an accident. Maybe she meant to kill him, but. I don't know.
She could have just, misaimed. We
also have Luigi Pistilli, who plays basically Indio's right-hand man in his gang. We also have an appearance from Klaus Kinski, who plays the Hunchback. And let me say, Klaus Kinski looked like basically stupid He-Man in this movie. He's hunchbacked. He's got this yee-ass haircut. He's looking like a whole mess, okay?
Yeah, he's not one of the prettiest characters to look at.
And neither was the character that Kinski played either. I don't feel bad about saying bad things about Klaus Kinski. He was an absolute nut. Okay, he was diagnosed with psychopathy when he was alive, and he was just in general a pain to work with amongst everyone who ever worked with him.
Wow, I've never heard of the guy till now. So.
Well, he worked a lot with Werner Herzog.
Okay.
But all of that could be hand waved. Typical prima donna actor behavior. But he also molested his daughter. So, I have no sympathy for the guy.
Yeah, that's not good.
So, for a few dollars more, this was your first viewing of this movie. What did you think?
Yeah, it was okay. I did find myself, because, this isn't, like, exactly my type of movie that I usually tend to watch. So I did find myself kind of losing attention, like, during the middle. But I do like the team of whatever Clint Eastwood's character's name is. Manco. And the other guy. Mortimer, yes. I knew it. I liked their team up, and I liked that he was after this bad guy for revenge, for like a noble cause, He wasn't just after him for money.
Yeah, and I feel like Indio is possibly the most evil of all the main bad guys in the Dollars Trilogy.
Yeah, he's a pretty bad guy.
In the first movie you have Ramon, who, yeah, he's not necessarily a good person. He's a pretty vile one in that, but the worst crimes you see him commit are, well, of course, murder. He does kill a lot of soldiers, and he also kidnaps a woman and keeps her from her husband and her little boy. But you also don't see him murder Marisol's husband or son, as opposed to this movie. Indio, well, he catches up with a former gang member of his who turned him into the law for money, and and he's since started a family. He has his wife and his 18-month-old son, and he has that gang member's family killed in front of him before killing him.
Yeah, pretty mean, because his character in the first movie, Ramon, at least left the kid alive,
And Ramon was likable he was as likable as an evil, irredeemable villain can be.
Yeah, yeah.
He certainly had a more fun personality, I'd say.
I'd say so too.
And then you have Angel Eyes in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and really his most of his crimes are just greed. He's going after this money, and sure, he's willing to hurt people to get that. But over the course of the movie, we only see him kill 3 people.
Yeah, that's not too many compared to the other bad guys in the movies.
You do see him rough up a woman, but even still, he left her alive.
Yeah, I guess that's good, at least.
And even still, we see him show some sympathy towards, the dead during the war. But we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. So, yeah. This guy,
Just call him Indio.
Indio, is not a good guy.
No, but he has some interesting quirks about him. For one, whenever he's dueling someone, he has this watch that plays a little tune that he stole from Mortimer's sister. He tells the guy that whenever the music reaches the end, that's when the duel starts. Which kind of puts him at an unfair advantage, given that it's his watch, so he knows when the music ends.
Yeah, kind of unfair.
But then again, wouldn't you think that any of these guys would just shoot him before the music ends?
You would think. I mean, it would be cheating, but if your life is on the line, you would think you would do that.
But then again, given that they're always around Indio's gang, they would probably shoot the guy who shoots Indio.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, well, so I guess all you got to do is try to be faster than the other guy. Yeah, I feel like this is my least favorite of the Dollars Trilogy. However, it's still a pretty fun movie and one of the best westerns I've ever seen.
Yeah, I agree. It is pretty fun, but I don't know if I liked it as much as Fistful of Dollars.
Yeah, you got that right.
I got the title right. Yep.
Yeah, it's definitely it's longer than Fistful of Dollars. So I feel like that does play into liking Fistful more. But also the story in Fistful of Dollars is more. It's a tighter story, you know. It gives you what it says it's going to give you. It gets in, it gets out. You know, good. Not much fat to be trimmed there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, this one is fine. But like I said, I do think it drags a little.
It does, yeah. Some scenes in this movie are kind of not entirely necessary. For instance, the scene where Monko and Mortimer are just bullying each other by shooting each other's hats over and over again. It's fun, but it doesn't really serve the plot too much.
Yeah, and it does take a while.
Then you have just multiple scenes of Mortimer and Monko just going after other marks and stuff, which, you know, good for a character setup, but still.
Yeah, it does set up that they're bounty hunters, but I guess it's not completely necessary.
Still fun though.
Yeah, it's fun.
So, also, Fistful of Dollars was clearly Eastwood's movie. You know, he doesn't really have anyone to match him in this. Sure, there's the bad guy, but that's the bad guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Here, it seems more. It's definitely more equal between Eastwood and Lee Van Cleef. Although I feel like Colonel Mortimer is definitely more the protagonist than Monko is in this one.
Yeah, he has more of a storyline that, and the ending means more to him as well.
Yeah, and plus we meet him before we meet Eastwood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Although there's a weird thing that goes on. So throughout the movie, Monko and Mortimer are calling each other old man or boy. Lee Van Cleef was only 5 years older than Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
He certainly doesn't look it, but still.
No, he does look quite a bit older, but not like, I wouldn't say too much older.
Lee Van Cleef was only 40 in this movie, but geez, you look rough, my man.
Yeah, he does look a little rough.
Whereas Eastwood was 35. But,
Mm-hmm. I think I recall in the movie he said something about being 50 years old.
Yeah, so. Maybe they also made him look older, but still.
Maybe. Yeah, so he was the older guy, the more experienced guy.
All right. Do you have anything more to say on For a Few Dollars More?
Not particularly, unless you do.
Well, let's see. Okay, so Sergio Leone originally wanted either Henry Fonda or Lee Marvin for Mortimer.
What was the second name?
Lee Marvin.
I don't know if I know that guy.
Let me check what he's been in. You may have seen some of this. Yeah, no, I don't think you would have seen any. He was in The Dirty Dozen.
I don't think I saw that. I probably haven't seen him in anything.
Yeah. He was he was a big name back then, and also during World War II, he was a corporal in the Marine Corps, and was awarded the Purple Heart for wounds he received in the Pacific.
Oh, wow. Pretty impressive.
Yeah. Fonda was ruled out because he was too expensive, although Henry Fonda would work with Sergio Leone in another of his westerns, Once Upon a Time in the West.
Okay, I have heard of that one, yeah.
And Lee Marvin turned it down so he can do another movie called Cat Bayou.
Okay.
Charles Bronson also turned it down because he thought it was the same as the first movie. No, it's not.
It is quite different, yeah. Even though the bad guy is played by the same guy, it's different.
Sergio Leone also considered Robert Ryan, James Coburn, and Jack Palance.
Okay, I don't know any of these people.
James Coburn was Waternoose in Monsters, Inc.
Okay, I do know him, actually.
And Jack Palance was the bad guy in Shane.
I have not seen the movie, but I am familiar with it.
And he was also Jack Nicholson's boss in the first Batman movie.
Yeah, I don't remember, but okay. I believe you.
Okay. I'm going to find something that you would have seen Jack Palance in.
It's okay. You don't have to.
I'm going to.
Because most likely I haven't seen anything with him in it.
Oh, he was in an adaptation of Treasure Island as Long John Silver.
I don't think I've seen that one, probably.
No, you haven't. It doesn't have Muppets or animated.
So I have not seen it.
Anyways, but despite all of these possible other actors for the role, I feel like Lee Van Cleef was perfect for the role.
Yeah, I think he fits the role nicely. He did a good job.
Especially with the contrast between this role and his role in the next movie, The Good and the Bad and the Ugly, as the big bad of the movie, and possibly the most iconic villain in all of the Dollars Trilogy.
Yeah, he goes from being a good guy to one of the most prolific bad guy cowboys, I guess.
But we'll get to that when we get to that. Overall, we think that For a Few Dollars More is a worthy follow-up to A Fistful of Dollars. And unfortunately, it does drag a bit, but that's what you get when it comes to the second parts of trilogy sometimes.
Yeah, it just happens sometimes.
Next, we have my favorite movie of all time, my favorite Western of all time, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
All right, let's give it a watch.
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is the last in the Dollars Trilogy, and honestly, just keep it to the end. I think it's the best one.
Oh, yeah. It's like Tyler's favorite movie of all time.
It is, yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty good. It is, I will admit, it's a little long, but, it has a good story.
And we watched the theatrical version. The extended version is around 3 hours long. This one was about 20 minutes shorter.
Yeah, I'm sure you've had me watch the theatrical version before.
Maybe, but it's okay. It's the theatrical version is the one that's on the 4K, which is what we watched. Not sure why they restricted it to just the theatrical version, but whatever, I guess.
Hey, yeah, whatever.
This movie is once again directed by Sergio Leone and stars Clint Eastwood as the titular man with no name, although here he has a name. Blondie is what he gets called.
Yeah, I guess that's more of a nickname, but it counts as a name.
Eli Wallach plays Tuco, his partner in crime, sometimes enemy in this movie.
Yeah, he goes back and forth. He's the ugly.
Yes, and from a certain point of view, he's well, not a certain point of view, but from really the main point of view, Tuco is pretty much the main character in this one.
Yeah, I guess I could see an argument for that. Yeah.
Yeah, in the first one, we had Clint Eastwood's Man with No Name as the main character, and then in For a Few Dollars More, we arguably had Lee Van Cleef's Colonel Mortimer as the main character, and here we have Tuco as the main character. So it's kind of funny. We have the good, the bad, and the ugly, and they're starring in their own respective movies.
Yeah, pretty funny.
Speaking of, we have Lee Van Cleef as the bad, Angel Eyes.
Yep. He is a little devious.
Jeffrey, I'm pretty sure I mispronounced that, but I'm doing my best. As the alcoholic union captain that Blondie and Tuco meet near the end of the movie, he's the one who's trying to take this bridge away from the Confederacy, but really all he wants to do is blow it up so that they can all go home.
Yeah, I mean, blowing up a bridge sounds pretty cool.
And we have Luigi Pistilli as Father Ramirez, Tuco's brother, who is disappointed in Tuco for his life choices.
Yeah, he's real disappointed. They are pretty much opposites.
So, like I said, this is the last in the Dollars Trilogy, and wow, what a way to go out on a high note.
Yeah. It's a pretty high note.
Now, what I like about this movie is we get, well, even though Blondie is called the good, there really aren't a whole lot of good people in this movie.
No, not a lot.
He's really only the good in comparison to Angel Eyes and Tuco.
Yeah, because I mean he's not like, his actions aren't really motivated by wanting to do good. If that makes sense.
Not really, no. He's an anti-hero.
Yeah, anti-hero, yeah.
But even still, we get moments of his goodness shine through, such as when we see him playing with a kitten, or when he gives a last smoke to a dying soldier.
Yeah, you're gonna be a good guy if you can play with a kitten.
Okay, so speaking of Clint Eastwood, he wasn't actually he's not actually too much of a fan of this movie.
Why not?
Well, he said it was bloated rather than expansive, and the only fleshed out character was Tuco.
Yeah, I mean I can see where he's coming from.
I do too, but at the same time, I don't really care. I still love this movie.
Yeah, that's okay.
And well, the thing about the Man with No Name is he's kind of a mystery. He's just this legend of the West that shows up, does some stuff, and then bounces.
Yeah, we don't know a lot about him.
We apparently he's from Illinois, though I'm not sure if that's actually true.
I don't know.
Poor guy had to be born in Illinois.
Yeah.
This movie takes place during the Civil War, and the Civil War in the Southwest United States, which isn't really touched on too much when it comes to Civil War movies.
Yeah, it's usually, different areas.
Yeah, usually Civil War movies focus on, the conflicts in the East, like Mississippi, Georgia, Gettysburg, Antietam, stuff like that. But it was a nice change of pace for this time around.
Yeah. It's much different than what... I think it might be the only Civil War movie that I've seen that takes place in this area of the country.
Yeah, which pretty interesting, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
So, given that this is a spaghetti western, our three titular characters are actually the only Americans in the whole thing.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
And even then, Eli Wallach isn't really. Well, he wasn't really Hispanic. He was Polish and Jewish.
Huh.
But his most well-known character is a Mexican bandito.
It's kind of funny.
Hey, it's okay. He pulls it off.
I guess so. Yeah.
There was some near misses when it comes to accidents on this set too.
Oh yeah. What do you mean?
Well, during one of the train scenes when Tuco was trying to get the handcuffs off him, he almost got decapitated by a step from one of the from that was on the train.
Oh wow.
It passed like inches over his head.
Yeah, that would be scary.
Also, at one point, he almost drank acid when a bottle of it was placed next to the soda he was drinking.
That doesn't seem very safe. Oh boy.
Also, when Angel Eyes, Blondie and Tuco blew up the bridge, a big chunk of debris almost killed Clint Eastwood when it landed very near to him.
Yeah, those do sound a little dangerous. I'd be a little worried.
Later on in the 90s, they found some deleted scenes that they wanted to add back into this movie, hence the extended cut that we have, and the audio for it was it was a bit. I think it was either missing or degraded. So Clint Eastwood and Tuco had to redub their voices, which is pretty noticeable with Tuco, given that Eli Wallach was much older than everyone else was.
Yeah. What were these scenes about? Like, what happened in them?
One of them was Tuco getting his gang back together. Another one was added onto the scene where Tuco was torturing Blondie in the desert. Mm-hmm. Those are just off the top. There's some others I know.
Oh, yeah, pretty cool.
Though Lee Van Cleef had died since, so he had to be redubbed by someone else.
Yeah.
So there's some stuff about what could have been from this movie too, like different castings and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
Charles Bronson was supposed to play Angel Eyes, but he was in England filming The Dirty Dozen at the time.
Yeah.
Leone knew that he was good for the role, but he was hesitant to cast Lee Van Cleef as Angel Eyes because he didn't think the audience would like him going from the heroic character Colonel Mortimer to Angel Eyes.
Yeah, that's true. He was just playing a good guy in the last movie. But, you know, it's a completely different character, so maybe it's just a coincidence that they looked like each other, I guess you can say.
Other actors considered were Henry Fonda and Lee Marvin, but in the end, everyone declined, and he got over his feelings about Van Cleef going from a hero to villain, which I feel like the right decision was made. Lee Van Cleef is incredible as the villainous Angel Eyes. I feel like he's my favorite villain in the Dollars Trilogy.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool bad guy.
You know, he's got the menace, he's got the style, he's got the energy. Yeah, he's got the evil smile and laugh too.
Yeah, he's got his devious looks down. He's pretty good at those.
But it's also funny to consider that Angel Eyes kills the least amount of people out of the main three.
Yeah.
And two of them he was paid to kill, and another one was arguably self-defense.
Yeah, and he's considered the bad guy.
Sergio Leone also considered Gian Maria Volante, the man who played Ramon and El Indio in the previous two Trilogy movies for the role of Tuco.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been something.
That would have been something, yeah.
But he felt that the role required someone with natural comic talent. So we got Eli Wallach, who he is pretty funny in the role.
Yeah, I think he fit the role nicely.
Though Volante's English dub actor in those movies, Bernie Grant, did have a role in this movie as the Union Army captain.
Interesting.
So, in a way, he did get to appear.
Yeah, it works out.
So, what are your general thoughts on The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly?
Well, like I said, it is very long. So, for me, there are some parts that are hard to get through. I think it kind of drags after they get out of that, prisoner camp. But I do like the story. I like the ending a lot. I mean, the ending's a classic, that classic music playing.
The Mexican standoff?
Yeah. I mean, everyone knows that scene. So there are a lot of good parts, but for me, it's just a little too long.
Yeah, I get what you mean. It can drag at times, but honestly, I don't mind because I'm just having too much fun.
Yeah, I know you're enjoying every minute of it.
Something we haven't mentioned about this one yet is the music by Ennio Morricone.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely his finest work. Nothing else he ever did matched this score at all.
Oh yeah. Well, the song that plays during the standoff, it's everyone's heard it before. It's the classic cowboy standoff song. It's used a lot in different movies and commercials and stuff, so it's made its mark.
Yeah, Ennio Morricone definitely did. He had great music in the previous two Dollars Trilogy movies. He had great music in The Thing. He had great music in The Hateful Eight, but The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly score stands far above those.
Oh yeah, I agree. It's just so much really good music. It's nice. It's really great.
And like we said before, the music itself can tell the story of this movie by itself.
Yeah, that's how you know you got a good soundtrack score.
Yeah.
That's the word I'm looking for, score. Whenever the score can carry the emotions and what's going on, it's really good.
Yeah, the score for this movie perfectly encapsulates this violent, tragic world that all these characters are living in. And you feel the emotion of everyone and everything coming through the music. It's absolutely fantastic, and I love every minute of it.
Yeah, it is very good.
Heck, I have the soundtrack on vinyl, so you know I'm a fan.
Oh yeah, you are a big fan.
So before I mentioned something about Clint Eastwood seeing his character in Unforgiven as a continuation of The Man with No Name, and I can kind of see how that is.
I don't believe I have seen The Unforgiven.
It's just Unforgiven.
Oh, Unforgiven.
The Unforgiven is a song from Metallica.
Oh, sorry.
Anyways, I'm not sure if I'm not sure when he said this, or heck, I saw it on the internet, so he probably didn't even say it, but it's possible.
Who knows? It may have been.
But let's say that he did. I can see how he can come across that interpretation. The Man with No Name could be, how speaking is hard. Okay, William Money could be the Man with No Name in the future. The Man with No Name in his prime being the legend that someone makes of themselves in the Old West.
Yeah.
the exaggerated romanticized version, but then William Money would be the realistic end of what would happen to someone like that.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
Makes sense?
I think so, yes.
Yeah. And I'd always imagined William Money being the older version of the Man with No Name anyway, so hey, falls right into place for me.
Yeah. Yeah, so you agree with it.
But that's just a theory.
Yeah.
I'm not doing the rest.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so how would you rank these three movies?
From bottom to top, I would say, yeah, I think I'm gonna go, for a few dollars more, and then a fistful of dollars, and then the good, the bad, and the ugly on top.
Yeah, I agree. That would be my ranking too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
These are all fantastic movies, and for a few dollars more being at the bottom doesn't say that it's a bad one. It's just I like the others more.
Yeah, I agree. That just because it's on the bottom doesn't mean it's bad.
Yeah, I love trilogies like that where even your least favorite is still a banger of a movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got a good trilogy then, if that's the case.
All right, so who has been your favorite character in this whole trilogy?
I don't know. It's kind of hard to choose. I liked the in oh geez, in a few dollars more. I liked the brother who's avenging his sister's death.
Colonel Mortimer.
Yeah, that's a noble cause. But I also like. I also like Clint Eastwood's character in the first movie, Fistful of Dollars. So I don't know. It's kind of hard to think. Who's your favorite?
Oh, Man with No Name easily.
Oh yeah, he's pretty cool. It's pretty hard to pick a cooler character than him.
Yeah, it is. Clint Eastwood just played this role perfectly.
Yeah, he did. It was made for him. Yep.
So, unless we have anything more to say, although actually I do. Never mind.
Okay, well, go ahead.
I like even with our bad and our ugly, we do have some moments of humanity shine through.
Yeah, we do.
Not so much Angel Eyes in the theatrical cut. In the extended one, we get a little bit after he comes across a bombed out Union fortress. He bribes someone with some alcohol so that he can get information, and that just lets him keep the bottle.
Oh, nice, yeah.
And with Tuco, we get to see his scene with his brother after he learns that his parents have died.
Yeah. Which I don't think he handles that situation too well, but you know.
Well, how would you react if someone just told you that your parents died?
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't really know how didn't he end up fighting his brother and like punched him or something?
Well, his brother hit him first.
Oh, well, I guess you're right.
His brother's upset because he became an outlaw, and Tuco is upset because his brother left their family so that he could become a priest.
Yeah, I guess it is a bit of a gray area. You're right.
Tuco's he's not a good guy, but you can understand him in places.
Yeah, you can.
Clint Eastwood's character is definitely more morally gray here than he was in the first two movies.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I'd say his the high point of his morality might have been in Fistful of Dollars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably.
Because here he saves this woman and gets her back to her husband for really no reason other than just because.
Yeah, just because it's the right thing to do.
We don't really get any instances like that here outside of the two moments I mentioned.
Yeah. He just wants the money, you know.
Yeah. But can't blame him, really.
Yeah. I'd go after, what was it, $20,000?
200,000.
Oh, 200,000. Yeah. I'd do that too.
Yeah. So I think now I'm pretty much done on what I have to say.
Mm-hmm. You talked about, you know, you're finished up talking about your favorite movie?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
So that'll do it for us. See you next time.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.